The Dallas Cowboys are America's team, and you know that their evaluation is in the billions of dollars, and they know that we need players to go out there and make plays. But when it comes time to play them, the Cowboys front office, they always want to drag their feet. They got center blocks as feet when it comes time to walk to the table to sign the contracts. We've seen it happen with Dak Prescott. We've seen it happen with Zach Martin. We've seen it happen with CeeDee Lamb and others. The newest person that is dealing with this is Micah Parsons.
Mm-hmm.
What is it about Steven and Jerry and the people in the front office that just want to drag their feet and wait to the very last possible moment to sign a contract that we all know that they're going to sign? It's never been an if they're going to get these contracts signed or if these players are going to get absolutely what they asked for, but it's just when they're going to do it. They seem to wait forever to do so, and sometimes that comes back and it bites the Cowboys in the rear end because guys are missing OTAs, mini camps, and even training camp for some guys like Martin, like Zeke, like CeeDee Lamb. Well, why is that? You've been around here for 27,000 years. You deal with the Joneses. Jerry Jones told you, no, what did he say? No effing body do a job better than them. Why does the old man drag his feet?
Because they have an old adage: deadlines make deals. Yep, that's their adage. Deadlines make deals, and there's no all these arbitrary deadlines. The season training camp, that's the bigger deadline. That's the one where you have to get on the field, and that's been the deadline. But yeah, historically they have drug their feet on a lot of the big contracts. They'll sign the Osa Odighizuwas early, and get those guys done, but you go back to Dez, you go back to D-Law, you go back to certainly Zeke, when Zeke who, and certainly we know the CeeDee and Dak of last year, they've waited, and as Steve will say, it takes two to tango, for sure. And sometimes I would say with the CeeDee deal, CeeDee wasn't signing before Justin Jefferson signed. So I don't, they weren't going to get that deal done, but after Justin Jefferson signed in June, it should have been done before training camp. Certainly before the end of training camp. But CeeDee was not signing until Justin Jefferson signed to set the market. So it doesn't matter what the Cowboys tried to do, want to do, or whatever else, unless they were going to set the market. And that's something they don't do, of course. Then they did it with that. They're going to do it anyway. So it is crazy. It's certainly frustrating as a player. And like I said, this whole thing with Micah, it's personal. It's personal for the player.
On Jones' side, or it's personal on
it's personal player
Micah's side.
On Micah's side. Like Zeke got upset with the Zeke comment. It's personal for the player. It's like when CeeDee last year and he took all his stuff off and everybody's like, what does he mean? He started changing stuff on his social media accounts. Jerry has been doing contracts since he took the team from Bud Bright, fired Tom Landry, hired Jimmy Johnson, the Aikman, Emmett held out. This is business. This is what he does, and his business is not personal. Yes, he loves these guys. He wants to pay them. He wants to keep them here. But these are business deals, and he can sit up there and have a long discussion with Micah and bring him to a Super Bowl suite, but we still going to wait, right? Yeah. Because this is what I do. I do contracts for breakfast. But for players, this is really their first and only, because the rookie deal is already done, right? This is the first and only time to really get generational wealth, and it's personal. It's very personal. So you get frustrated over the process. You want to get it done. You see other guys getting their contracts done, and you want to get it done, and the Cowboys are dragging their feet. They don't have the same urgency. Jerry's come out and said that it's no urgency to get Micah done before camp. He said even after what we saw with CeeDee last year, and his CeeDee admitting that I started the season slow because I wasn't in camp. He said, that's not a big deal to me. I'd rather him be healthy than have him reps in camp. The urgency for him is not the same as urgency for us. It's not the logical urgency that we think it should be, as you pointed out. With so much on the line early on, this tough schedule, you want your guys out there in shape, ready to go. Micah talked about being around here, wanting to be around here to learn the defense, and be around his teammates. You want to be a leader. He's here. He's been around his teammates. He learned, the defense. But the Cowboys have yet to call his agent because
the one that Jerry doesn't know his name.
Yeah, one that Jerry doesn't know. Yeah, but their urgency is not your urgency, or your urgency is not their urgency.
I often wonder, just practically thinking, because as a human being, when you have some important things in your life, right? Like if there's not saying that there's a deadline, but if there's something that's looming in your stratosphere,
Right about the boat.
You know, you can't not think about it, right? And especially when you know that I have the power to end it. I have the power to end the conversation. I have the power to end the stress, to end the frustration. Like when Jerry and Steven get up and they're having their egg Benedict, and they know they need to get this contract done. Then they just sit there and go, well, today I'm gonna go.
But they know they are getting it done.
But
they know they are. See, that's the
right.
difference. It's not a question of what they're going. It's not a question where he's leaving, going somewhere else.
No.
They know, and they will tell you Micah Parsons will be on the field with a contract.
But what stops
September.
them in their everyday life? What just stops them from being like, hey, Pops, hey, son, you busy? Let's just go in the office and hammer this out in the next 3-4 hours. Like, what stopped them from that? Do they get up in the morning and go, let me check the schedule today? I got golfing, I got an owner's meeting, I got a committee meeting. Like, your schedule isn't that full where you just can't go, hey, let me get on the phone. Let's get on the conference call with David Malugeta or whoever, and let's just sit down and spend 5 to 6 hours, because if we're being honest, a lot of the framework is already done, right? When you have those other contracts that are out there in the league, that's the floor, right? Who was the last going to get a deal? Was it what was the Raiders defensive end?
Yeah. He got a deal.
Max Crosby.
Garrett got a deal.
Max Crosby, Garrett got a deal. I know Trey Hendricks wants a deal, but
he got his deal.
Those deals are the framework, right? Those are the floor.
Jamar Chase deals the framework too.
Like that's where the framework is at. And then now we take the framework and we just hammer out the little details of whether, no contract bonuses, all that, no trade clause bonuses, all that kind of crazy stuff. We hammer those things out, but I just have a feeling that could be done in a day.
It could be done today, but see, what you're saying is
I'm speaking too rational.
Yes, you're speaking too rational, but
that's too much like right.
Too much right. But it's also that's the most important thing that you think that should be on their mind every day.
But that's what I'm asking.
But it's not the most important thing on their mind.
I'm asking the question when they get up in the morning, like, what is topic of discussion in their mind? Like, as they're sitting at breakfast, what do they have going on?
I don't know what Gene got going on.
Well,
I'm just saying. I'm just talking about. You said what's on it. I don't think that's the topic of their mind, and certainly it doesn't have to be because
it's the biggest thing that's going on with your football team.
To you, because we don't know what else is going on behind it. We don't know what other deals they got. We don't know. And I would say this, just from a business standpoint, because we know it's going to be a big bonus, right?
Yeah.
The longer we wait, that money is drawing interest in my account and not your account. That money is drawing interest in my account. And one thing about the Cowboys that we're going to wrap up, but they're rich in valuation.
Right.
That don't mean it's all liquid. Like some of these owners, they're not the richest owners. There's a lot of owners that got riches beyond riches in their pocket.
But Jerry got a lot.
He does, but they're also smart and shrewd businessmen, okay? And so let me keep this 25, 50 million in my account drawing interest a little longer.
That's a good point. I never thought about that. All right, man. So we'll see if the contract gets done. When it gets done, we'll probably do an emergency pod. We'll definitely be back talking it on the show. For my liking, I hope it gets done sooner rather than later. Stop dragging your feet and go in there and get the deal done.